morning, beautiful people. How are you today? I've been watching some episodes regarding oil in Norway and how they were smart enough to use it for their own good. And I wanted to tell you about the history of oil. It could be interesting. Oil has been here since ancient times. Oil and bitumen were used by the Mesopotamians for waterproofing boats and binding bricks and even medicine, which I find really interesting. Nobody talks about that I know of. But I wanted to remind you that this is just some information that I've found and it's not 100% necessarily correct, but I find it interesting. And in the 1800s, the modern oil industry began with the 1859 Drake well in Pennsylvania. Kerosene lamps and later automobiles creating a booming demand. So there's a lot of oil used for cars beginning in the 1800s, between 1800 and 1900. Then in the 1900s, it fueled cars, ships, airplanes, and wars. In the Middle East, around the 1950s, it was the largest source. And so it became the lifeblood of the 20th century, you could say. And up until the mid-20th century, Norway was a relatively poor rural country. But then they were lucky and found a lot of oil. They relied on fishing and shipping and industry in the country. Even many Norwegians moved to America, like from Iceland back in the days. They moved to Canada to get better lives. People even joke that Norway's greatest natural resource was its beautiful scenery. In 1969, they discovered a lot of oil because they didn't give up looking for it. And the first oil produced was Ekofisk field in 1971. And the peak oil production was 3.4 million barrels a day. That's a lot. And today there's around 250,000 US dollars per Norwegian citizen. So, Norwegians are pretty rich, you could say. And Norway supplies about 20 to 25% of Europe's natural gas. But I would like to tell you the story in one go. So not so long ago, in the early 20th century, Norway was a modest land on the edge of Europe. Its people were hardy, fishermen battling the wild seas, farmers tilling workers' soil, and sailors carrying goods across the oceans. Life was simple, often tough, and many Norwegians left for America, searching for opportunities their homeland could not offer. And in the 1960s, whispers spread across the North Sea. Oil had been found in Dutch waters. Vast reserves hidden beneath the waves. Could it be that Norway, with its long and stormy coastline, sat atop the same treasure? The first surveys were uncertain. Experts doubted Norway's continental shelf would hold anything of value, but the country gave out exploration licenses anyway, just in case. And like I said, in 1969, everything changed. Far offshore, on a cold December day, the American company Phillips Petroleum struck oil at the Ekofisk field. It was massive, one of the largest oil fields in the world at that time. Suddenly, a poor fishing nation had stumbled upon black gold. At first, Norwegians felt both awe and fear. Would oil corrupt their society as it had in other places where sudden riches led to greed and instability? Or could it be harnessed for the common good? The government made a bold choice, and really good choice. Norway's oil would belong to the people. In 1972, they created Statoil, which is today Equinor, a state-owned company to make sure foreign giants did not simply take everything. They also set rules. Norwegians must learn the technology, build the rigs, and control the future. Stavanger, only once a sleepy fishing town, became the new oil capital. The oil poured in, and with it came wealth beyond imagination. But instead of spending it all, Norway saved. In 1990, the government called the oil fund the Government Pension Fund Global. Every krone earned from oil was invested abroad, turned into stocks, bonds, and property, so it would grow for generations to come. This decision transformed Norway. Schools, hospitals, roads, and welfare all improved. The fund grew and grew until it became the largest sovereign wealth fund on earth, worth over $1.6 trillion. Today, every Norwegian in theory is a millionaire. Yet the saga has a twist. Norway, the land of pristine fjords and green mountains, is also a major exporter of fossil fuels, the very thing driving climate change. To balance this, Norwegians became pioneers in electric cars, offshore wind, and carbon capture. The oil built their fortune, but the future, they say, must be cleaner. So, from fishermen casting nets in icy waters to one of the wealthiest, most stable societies in the world, this is Norway's modern saga, written in oil. So, I think they were pretty smart by using it for their own good and benefit, and thinking on the future, not just how they could spend it, with greed in mind. So, yeah, thank you so much for listening, and looking forward to seeing you soon. Bye.